Goblin House Studios.
Welcome to our actual play tabletop podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 14 of our actual play tabletop podcast. I'm Matt, and I play Shrimp Stomp.
I'm Spook Jam, and I play Galliot Delarig.
I'm Jojo, and I play Nynx.
I'm Bianca, and I play Leilathia.
Hey everyone, I'm Cody, and I play Thord in Stronghollow.
And I am Adam. I am our game master. Well, when we last left off, it was in the middle of a terrible battle in a cemetery. A spectral, seaweed-bearded, eel-armed monster who seems to be able to fade into statues and teleport and come out of another statue has been plaguing our party. Right now, Shrimp Stomp is hiding behind a statue. Thornton is furious because he just threw a vial of holy water that did not seem to harm this horrible, seemingly undead creature. Not far behind him, the Fox Moon's shadow is pinned to the ground with these icy black tentacles. Further towards the right, very close to the Fern Lady who's coming out of the foliage, would be Nynx and Galliot and Leilathia. Far ahead of them, behind the spooky tree with burnt-out lightning damage, is the spectral figure. Thornton, it is your turn.
So, Thornton is going to move as close as he can to the spectral figure, and then he is going to rub his hands together and cast Sacred Flame. The target must succeed on a dex saving throw, which is 14.
The spectral figure is shrouded in your flame. How much damage does it do?
That will be 1d8. That is 3 damage. 3 radiant damage.
Alright, he's slightly scorched by that holy flame. The next up is Shrimp Stomp.
From my position, do I have line of sight?
I believe that the tree is so big, its trunk is very wide, I think he's out of your line of sight.
Okay.
But it wouldn't take much movement to get in his line of sight.
Okay.
I think.
Let's move over. So I'm going to use my longbow. That is a 24 to hit.
That hits.
That is going to be 8 damage.
He now has another arrow sticking out of his evil rib cage, and he is looking worse for wear. He's hovering a little bit less high off the ground now.
We've almost got him, Shrimp Stomp.
Yes! I am so good with this bow!
Teach me your ways, Shrimp Stomp.
You pull it, you look at the guy, and you let go!
What have I been doing this whole time?
Missing.
Looking at the eyes.
He grits his teeth and snarls, some of the thick purple blood coming out from between his teeth. He fades back into the statue and reappears out of the statue very close to Shrimp Stomp and Galliot.
Oh, fun.
Right next to Shrimp Stomp.
Oh, shit!
He looks down at you furious, with your 2 arrows sticking out of him. He raises his eel arms aloft and jabs them both down, way down, at your direction. And these gnashing teeth are coming right for you to bite you.
Gross!
Shrimp Stomp, as he emerges from the statue, You feel something around your chest begin to feel very warm. Not hot enough to burn you, but very warm. And it's the crystal around your neck that you received from Umaira.
Okay.
And when he jabbed at you with these eel tentacle arms, you had a burst of adrenaline, but you weren't afraid. You felt somehow protected by Umaira. As the teeth are coming right for you, a spell called Umaira's Protection suddenly just bursts forth from the crystal's very heart. Could you describe that for us?
Umaira's Protection. This is a reflavored spell. So, a protective magical force surrounds me, manifesting as a radiance, like a pink radiance. It covers me and all of my gear, and I gain 5 temporary hit points. And if a creature hits me with a melee attack, while I have the temporary hit points, they take 5 radiant damage. So
you now have this pink glow around you?
Yeah, me, all my gear, everything has a slight pink glow to it.
What's your armor class?
That will be 16.
As he's about to bite you with these eel tentacles, as you begin to glow with that pink radiance, he recoils a little bit, as if it repulses him. That concludes his turn. Thornton, I'm not sure if you're going to get the killing blow on this one. It depends on what the others do.
Don't you take this from me.
You can't have all of them. Okay, so
That's a good point.
Yes, I can.
You can't have all the kill. Galliot, you just saw that happen.
Mm-hmm. I want to get right up behind him, and since I'm the tallest, I want to try and stab him, like, either in the back of his torso or his neck.
All right. You could definitely get you're tall though, aren't you?
yes.
You
I'm
could,
the tallest one so far.
You could definitely hit areas like that on him because he's sunk closer to the ground now.
D20 first.
Yeah. Figure out if it hits.
Advantage.
Oh,
And you get 2.
Yep,
Yeah.
you can roll it twice.
It's a 12. And a 20.
Nat 20.
Ooh, a net.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the first attack Galliot's ever had. And he... It's a 6.
6 damage.
Is that with doubling?
That's
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Plus 0, because he has a 0 for strength.
Are you stabbing or slashing at him?
Just stabbing him. So I'm gonna shank him before he can shank me, dude.
You shank him right in the back of his head. Thornton and Shrimp Stomp, you can see that his purple eyes flicker for a moment. And the black shroud that he's wearing just fades away and disappears.
Oh shit, he's naked.
And where his lower torso would be, is a disgusting, twisting bundle that look like roots of these tentacles wrapped up. He has no legs. And he sinks closer to the ground. And with his free arm, he grabs a hold of the statue to steady himself. And he turns his head all the way around backwards like an owl and hisses at you.
I think, just for the pure absurdity, I hiss back.
Nice.
Just this fucking teenager just hissing back
I
at
love
him.
it. Ninx.
I am going to get within 10. Just move forward, and then I'm going to cast my mushroom spray again.
He fails. How much damage does he take?
Where's my D12? 7.
Describe how you do it.
So I just basically throw my hand out, because again I'm on the ground, or throw my hands out, and all these like little mushrooms with spores and whatever just start pummeling him.
As he had turned around, very exorcist type way, to hiss at Galliot, his face is right there, and it takes the brunt of your mushroom spores. And his face just begins to blister and peel, and the purple glow in his eye sockets just disappears. and he slumps to the ground and falls into just a pile. And that hiss that he did was the last sound he will ever make.
Ah, get fucked, you freak.
Hell yeah.
Hey, we did it!
Yes.
Just the pained cries of Thoradin as he dies. No! I
wanted the kill. He collapses to the ground. His disgusting seaweed-looking mutated beard just flops over, and you see his neck. It is covered in deeply branded symbols all the way around his neck. Just like the ones that you have, but it's all of them.
Maybe I shouldn't have stabbed him in the back of his neck.
Ninx walks.
Now we're missing one.
Ninx walks over and just slices that piece of skin off of him.
Ninx goes to
Skin
town
his
just
entire neck?
skinning that neck.
Yes.
She just cuts his head off and then the neck from the body.
It's nasty.
When you cut that skin off, underneath the skin, a little glow of that symbol remains. Like it's just permanently etched into his being.
Oh, I thought you were going to say there was a bunch of worms.
Ew. I bet he's got a lot of worms in him too.
Just a magnet.
A little wormy
maggot
boy.
filled.
I'm pretty sure some of his quote-unquote organs inside of him have some worms in
It's
them.
just worms. There's no organs, only worms.
So Thoradin, he's going to march over and he's just going to smash this guy's head. in
make
with
sure
his
that
arm
his-
to make
just
sure he
can't
is
handle
dead.
it.
Yeah, no, he has to make sure this thing is dead.
And I
He has to
cover
make sure he
I
is the
cover him with
last hit.
extra mushrooms just to make sure that I'm poison.
Smash
That the
him.
earth has taken him.
You crush his head and ensure that he is completely dead.
He's not gonna come back.
Has Moonshadow been freed?
Oh crap!
Probably, I'm sure Leilathia went, right? You went
Yeah.
and freed him.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
He's good.
Despite leaving him,
And those tentacles have faded away by now.
What about Dulcinora in the grave?
There's still a grave right there.
Do we know if she's like? Do we need to like dig it up or?
That's up to you.
look, man, I'm sure we've got enough gold for a revive spell. Somewhere.
I think she died a little longer than 1 minute ago.
Oh, well, we'll just
Well-
get a necromancer.
The fern lady.
No, you won't.
I walk over
Still healing, just too late.
to.
She looks incredible. Her facial expression is that of extreme gratefulness. And you see that her burnt hand reforms in a tangle of vines and little blossoms all over it, healing her.
I kind of ask her for guidance about what to do about Dulcinora, if we should unearth her or if we should, or
She
if,
stabs you.
or if I should do some sort of something to honor her because, you know.
Although her hand and arm seem to have regrown and heals, she pushes her hair aside to reveal there's still a little burnt part in her chest that's slightly fizzling. She puts her hands together and has a pleading expression. And you get the impression that whatever's in Dulcinora's grave shouldn't be in this graveyard. It needs to come out.
Okay, so then I walk back over after having the conversation or meditation or whatever.
Communion. I like the word communion.
After having the communion with Wielda, I can't speak today. I walk over to the group and I ask them to come join me at the grave. And then that's when I tell them that whatever is in here doesn't need to be in here. We need to unearth it. And that's what Shrimp Stomp's dream was about.
Are you going to start digging?
I don't know if he should. Just because it doesn't belong here doesn't mean I really want to unearth it.
Shrimp Stomp, you did have a dream that you were buried alive.
Oh, true. He's gonna slowly start walking towards Ninx, but he's starting to realize that he's glowing. So he's like,
Guys, everything's pink.
I don't think that's healthy.
And, I don't stink.
What? No way.
Never mind, I think it's a good improvement.
Shrimp Stomp is suddenly an anime girl from a dating sim.
Awesome.
so he's gonna slowly wander his way up next to Ninx, because he's definitely connected to the feeling of being buried, so he's interested. But he's far more confused, I guess would be the right emotion at the moment, as to the fact that he's fucking glowing.
Mr. Shrimp Stomp
Yes, Mr. Mushroom.
looks down my shirt. Whatever's in this grave doesn't belong in the ground right here.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know if we should unearth it,
Well, what did the fern lady say?
that it doesn't belong in the ground here.
Oh,
But
if we take it out of the ground, she'll be happy.
I think so, but I don't know if it would be good for us.
Oh, well, happiness is the best way to go. So let's start digging.
He immediately just
Grave
starts.
robbers.
If you're going to dig up the poor woman, then I'll have no part of it. And Thoradin's just gonna wander away.
All right. Does anyone else help Shrimp Stomp?
Alright. Since he said he'll do it, I just kind of start reluctantly.
Leilathi is smoking some sky thistle, wondering what
The two little people are doing.
is going on.
It's always the short ones.
But I guess since my traveling companions haven't steered me wrong, kind of, Thornton,
Done leaving.
I'll go and help as well.
Considering I have only been steered wrong by my travel companions, I'm not gonna help.
Harsh.
Y'all are grave robbing.
Are you gonna go with Thornton?
Yeah, I'm going with Thornton, dude.
Desecrating a grave. It's disrespectful.
Nynx, what are you doing?
I'm helping.
You're helping.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to being a lookout.
You said Leilathi is helping, right?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all are digging and digging and digging. Shrimp Stomp, you feel energized by whatever is going on with you, and that crystal around your neck is almost pulsating. And it really, like, fills you with adrenaline and purpose.
Does it almost feel like when I was being held by you, Myra? Something like that?
It's a strange mixture of the joy that you felt being held by her, counteracted by the disappointment and sadness you felt when she died right after you saving her.
Delsinora dying.
Delsinora
Oh.
dying. And somewhere in between those two things is hope.
Okay.
And it's energizing you. As you're digging and digging and digging, you all notice that when you get down far enough that something moves under the dirt.
Maggots.
Oh my gosh.
It's
I don't want to touch it no more.
it's moving.
Is it something small enough that we could just like try to pick it up, or do we need to keep uncovering whatever it is that's moving?
As you're contemplating that, the earth is moved aside and several fingertips come out of it, and they're moving. Fingertips that are bloody and without nails,
Thornton?
clawing at the dirt.
What?
It's moving, sir.
What's moving?
It could be a monster. We might
A
need your help.
hand.
Get over here.
There's something moving in the grave.
I told you not to touch the grave.
Too late, we done did.
Start just slowly walking back.
Annoyed as ever.
Annoyed dwarf noises.
Perception check. See if anybody's coming.
Like outside
Outside the gates.
on the street. No, it's still
Everyone's
dead silent
sleeping
now
right
after that battle in the graveyard. You don't see anyone.
Sketchy.
It's too quiet.
It's
If
late.
you remember when
It's at
when
night.
you got to this area, it was a pretty lonely street.
Mhm.
There wasn't any homes nearby. There's
Thornton,
other
don't get
buildings,
in the
but they
grave.
don't seem to be homes.
I'm gonna have to get in the grave to smash it.
We don't need to smash it.
Okay. Okay, these fingers are wiggling. What do you do?
I'm preparing I'm going to prepare to use I forgot the name of the spell.
Just stomp on him. Stomp on the fingies.
I'm going to use my stomping spell.
Shrimp Stomp, with one hand, he's going to grab one of his little knives that he has off to the side, but also, other hand, he's going to grab that hand and pull.
Oh, yes. Pull so I can use Secret Flame.
When you grab it, it suddenly grabs back and it holds your hand, and you don't feel scared.
Okay.
I'm scared.
I've got Secret Flame like ready. It's like
You can pull on it, but there's a lot of earth still there, locking this person down in the ground.
I'm still digging because even though it's moving, it's not showing signs of wanting to harm us.
You keep digging, and another hand comes out of the soil, kind of grasping.
Could I do a perception or religion check?
What are you looking for specifically?
Whether it's going to do us harm.
So tell me this. The cycle of life and death is really important to minks. How familiar are you with undead?
Pretty familiar.
Okay.
That's why I said, could I possibly do like a religion?
Do you grab the other hand like Shrimp Stomp did?
Yes.
The way it's grabbing your hand and squeezing, something about it seems human.
Okay, because I was under the assumption, just from what Shrimp Stomp said and what my little communion with Widelda, I can't say it today. Wielda, that it didn't mean to do us any harm. That it was it's a desperate soul or a desperate being.
That's absolutely the vibe you get.
And that it's needing help, kind of like us, but I don't know that we're in that because of us being marked.
Okay. Leilathia, how do you feel about these grasping hands in a grave?
I'm most definitely freaked out. I have never really seen anything like this before. So I'm just gonna stand back and...
So you stop digging and stand back.
I guess I have my little dagger ready, but other than that, I'm...
So y'all keep pulling?
Mm-hmm.
After the comfort feeling that Shrimp Stomp encountered after grabbing the hand, he lets go of his knife and he's using his other hand to start brushing away the dirt closer to where he would assume like a head would be.
Yeah, and I'm helping.
You uncover where the head would be, a burial shroud that is torn open near the mouth, and it's just covered in dirt, and it's moving its mouth filled with soil, and it's struggling. And it seems like the arms have torn out of the burial shroud and have been digging at the dirt for some time.
Okay.
I keep digging, Shrimpy.
I'm going to keep digging out the head, and I guess...
I take some water and I kind of rinse her mouth out.
Okay.
Do you flip her over to get that soil out of her mouth?
Yes.
She's kind of reaching for her throat now, as if choking. First thing you clearly see is, as you recall, they cut a big piece of her skin off to get that mark.
Yeah.
So under the chin, the collarbone, way off to the side, all the neck, just missing, and it's just this kind of purple exposed muscle. And face is covered. You can tell it's her, but face is covered in dirt. You can't see the features really well. But eventually, spits out the dirt. You help clean it out, and it begins to cough, and then suck in a big breath of air, kind of wheezing.
She's alive, guys!
not for long.
No, hold on, Mr. Thoradin.
She means us no harm.
She's an undead.
But she's not dead.
Do you want to check, Nix?
What?
A pulse?
Yes, I'll check. She is. She's
Do
a.
a medicine check.
God, I know I have really good medicine too.
I know. 3 plus 5 is
Y'all
an 8.
people that keep wandering off.
Mm-hmm.
I have an 8
No, I meant
for
innate.
medicine.
Okay. You check for a pulse, and you don't feel one. But if you put your hand on her chest, you hear that you feel that a heart eventually beats, but only once every few moments, not fast like a human heart.
It's like a vampire.
She's not dead.
I'll be the judge of that.
Um,
And Thornton's just gonna like jump into the hole.
she does have an heartbeat somewhat.
And I am going to roll a medicine check. And if I don't feel a pulse, I'll bash her face in.
No.
Real quick.
No.
No.
That is a dirty 20.
There is a pulse, but it's very slow. But you would know that an undead would have 0 pulse. It's a very slowed down heartbeat.
Maybe she's still recovering.
I think we need to take her to Zen.
So Thornton is going to throw his warhammer like up out of the grave, and he is going to grab her by the shoulders and start pulling her out of the dirt.
Her legs were all tangled up in the shroud.
Yeah, Thornton's not being gentle.
I imagine. You get her out of the grave. She's naked under the shroud and covered in dirt. And she finally wheezes.
I think there's something wrong with me.
Yes.
You're naked.
Yes, you've been through a lot.
I don't think that's what's wrong.
Oh, okay.
Is enough of her shroud moved away that we can confirm that it is Delsinora?
It's kind of slipped away now, and it is. You'd have to brush some of the dirt off of her face, but you only saw her for a brief time in the forest. But it's her.
Yeah, Shrimp Stomp would remember because he was right on top of her trying to pull that.
That's true. You'd have that memory
It's
burned into your
etched
head.
into his brain.
It's her, and this with all that skin missing, the mark is still there and glowing, slightly glowing purple. It's not like a flashlight, but it's a purple glow where her symbol is.
So Thornton, he's going to like pull his pack off, open it up, and like kind of go through the contents of it and pulls out some of his own personal clothes. I don't know if these will fit you, but here you go.
Okay, you'll need to dress her because seems to not have a lot of control over her.
I'm not tall enough.
I'll go and help her.
And I go and help.
And also, Leilathia gives her some of the healing berries that she has.
She's like full of dirt. If you put them in her mouth, she kind of closes her mouth and they disappear.
Yeah. That's what I'll do.
And I give her more of my water to help.
Her eyes kind of roll in her head, but very slowly. And her skin looks very pale, very drawn and tight. It has some discoloration on it, just like someone who's been dead a couple days. And in the sclera of her eyes, the whites of her eyes have kind of a pale purple hue to them. And she looks around and looks at you, but it's very slow movements, and it's kind of creepy. Somewhere in between a dead body and a living person.
Well, in Thornton's mind, he's going to make the connection to like seeing this kind of like dull purplish glow in her eyes to the creature we just fought, who also had a purple glow in its eyes.
A much more brilliant. It looked. He had no eyes in his sockets, as if those lights had burned away the eyes long ago.
So he was like bright purple, and this is like
Very pale.
very pale.
And he is going to pick up his warhammer again.
Like, wait a second.
I don't mean to alarm anyone.
Wait, so he had, the dude we just killed had, like, olive R marks around
Mhm.
his neck.
He had marks around his neck and purple eyes.
But like bright purple.
Yeah.
And she, quote-unquote, died. And now, since she has the mark, her eyes are turning purple.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly.
Slightly.
So she's not completely taken over by whatever it is yet.
Guys, we're
Ex-
fighting ourselves.
The exposed muscle is kind of purplish too.
I don't mean to alarm anyone, but we may want to step away from her.
Actually, I think we need to get her to Zen
Yeah.
and let him immobilize her, for lack of a better word.
You want us to carry this zombie woman creature
She's not a zombie.
I
all
think
the way back across town?
I think what if that would draw too much attention, maybe there's a wagon nearby. We steal a wagon and some horse.
Oh, now you want to commit crimes.
We've already
We'll,
committed
we'll, leave,
crimes.
we'll leave an IOU.
As you say that, you notice that she's looking around the cemetery and sees the marker with her name on it.
Where am I?
You were buried in a grave on somebody's property that loved you very much.
My master, Bartle.
Yes.
She looks around at all of you and her eyes fix mostly on Shrimp Stomp.
Pink glowy boy.
That and that was close to her last memory.
The anime goblin.
She kind of touches her throat area.
I don't feel right.
We got the necklace off of you, but it looked like you died afterwards.
She starts to struggle to her feet.
Am I still holding her hand?
You can if you want to.
I'll help her up.
Thor is going to take like a wary step back and like just kind of ready his hammer.
As long as I have this feeling about me, I'm staying calm.
You're feeling a strange. Maybe you only thought you failed to save her.
Yeah, the hope is starting to come back. Something's definitely wrong, but that feeling of being a failure is fading.
And I point to, yeah, I'm done trying to say her name.
The fern lady. You can
The
call her
fern-
the fern lady.
The fern lady, and say she pointed us to help unearth you.
The grass gal.
The
The weed lady.
Wielda disappears into the foliage where she was, and after a moment reappears in the branches of the big tree and kind of lowers herself down, her long leafy hair kind of falling down, and she looks mournful and worried. She looks worried, kind of rubs her hands together.
She's quite worried about you.
I think she's worried of you.
Oh, I think we're doing good helping.
Dulcinora is just staring down into the grave with disbelief, kind of.
Do you happen to know what they did with your piece of the
Your skin?
of the necklace?
I thought we had it.
No.
No,
We don't
'cause
have
gave it-
hers.
Her piece was taken by
Oh, yeah.
that
Yeah,
leader
she-
of the city.
And I was seeing if
Guard.
maybe she had a sense of where it was located, because it's essentially she connected to it.
Mm. I knew we had it at some point, but I also knew we gave it away to someone.
She furrows her brow a bit and looks at y'all and looks at Galliot.
The last thing I remember is you carrying me. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on either.
So has she been dead this whole time and she's alive now?
I don't know.
Well, I think what's going on is, you died.
She's tethered between two worlds.
And you came back, and now you're turning into one of those. I just point to the body of the thing we just
The
fought.
pile of ash.
She's tethered between two worlds.
She sees that corpse, and her eyebrows slowly raise, and her mouth opens, and she looks horrified.
Yeah, dude, you do not want a penis arm.
Trust us.
This shit rips in half and turns into two. It's not nice.
Noodle balls everywhere.
The chaos of players.
Does this mean we need to get one more pearl?
We were already going to get one for her anyways.
Gotcha.
We had already had the plan of getting...
You could, despite not having the actual object to identify. That's up to y'all. That is still... You don't really know where it is, but the city guy took it, and he said he was going to take it to authorities. The pearls you're seeking are specifically for your middle fragment of the collar to be... It's a physical object that he can identify to hopefully find out something.
But I had already planned on getting one for her.
On her neck, does she have all of the symbols? Or just the one?
Just the one.
Okay.
Like
So
the
it's
rest
not
of
like
us.
the other guy who had all of the symbols.
Who had
Yeah.
all of the symbols.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think we need to just go back to Zen.
Agreed.
No. Take me to my master. Bartold isn't far from here. There.
We could
She
rest.
points north. If you remember on the little map that you copied,
Mm-hmm.
they own 2 plots of land. This one and one just a few blocks, couple blocks further north.
And why do we need to go to Master Bartold?
He'll sort all of this out.
I don't think he'll be happy that we stole you out of your grave.
Actually, I think he might be happy because I think he thought she was dead.
He's a powerful wizard. He can fix all of this. I'm sure of it.
Well, I suppose that's a far better plan than traipsing across the city with a half-dead woman.
It is closer.
But, and he looks at, Delsinora. If you make one wrong move, I will kill you.
What did I do?
Like I said, I believe you're turning into one of those.
I don't think she can fully turn into one of those because she doesn't have all of the symbols.
What do you mean about symbols?
I stretch out the full skin of the creature.
You have that?
Yes!
He has her skin.
If we all gym
Let's just
fuse
put this
together,
back.
we'll become one.
Staple it on.
She kind of, her expressions all happen very slowly. Like her reaction time is very poor. She looks kind of shocked and freaked out. You might realize she may not know that she has a mark. She can't see it.
Shrimp Stomp pulls his collar down and shows his mark.
So we all have a mark from the necklace that was on you, and you have only one of the symbols that was on you.
We're
We're all branded for some reason.
That isn't good.
That's what we've been told.
Multiple times. By almost anybody we've talked to.
Please take me to Bartold.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And I keep holding her hand as we walk.
Okay.
This is a connection to me actually finally being successful. I'm not letting her go easily.
I touch the ground and I make some sort of rock cane for her
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
so that it can help steady herself.
Brilliant. You can tell at the moment she definitely needs your assistance to properly walk. As you're moving away, you hear sort of a whispery owl hoot sound. And Nynx, on your way out, Wielda reappears out of the grass. And she holds her hand out and opens it. There's some tiny, teeny, tiny object in the palm of her hand. And you just feel this extreme thankfulness from her.
Can I run up and try to get them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I run up to her and I grasp for the objects.
It's a tiny, to you it's not tiny. It's a ring fit for a human with a big pearl on it and 6 little smaller gems around it. And it's got a lot of dirt on it. And she, with her other arm, points to one of the statues. And you get the impression it was given to you by whoever is buried there.
I bend down, create another mushroom, and I hand it to her. And say, thank you.
It absorbs into her hand, and it sprouts out behind her ear.
Aw.
And I take the ring, and I get a piece of twine, and I make it as like a necklace.
Okay. She smiles cheerfully and just descends into the ground and disappears.
Wield is a grave robber.
And I walk up, and I'm almost in tears as we all leave.
Thoradin is going to take up position behind Delsinora.
One wrong move.
In an easy Warhammer smashing range.
Okay. And y'all stagger out into the night.
And I pay my respects to everybody in their graves just by not necessarily making a big old heap of mushrooms, but I don't do it at each of their graves, but I do it like in the middle of everything. Actually, no, I'm going to do it under their tree.
Okay, that's appropriate. You now have Viviana Bartold's wedding ring. The pearl at the center of which is easily valuable enough to work for one of your spells.
Come on, Ninx, we have to go.
Well, after I did that, I followed y'all out. Sorry.
Shrimpstomp's just continuously looking at parts of him he can see, just looking at the glowingness of himself, and also kind of only slightly remorsefully sniffing himself.
I tell him he looks like a rose-colored gemstone.
Aww.
It's a good change. I don't feel like gagging every few minutes.
I've lost a little bit of my pride, but I feel better.
It's called being clean.
Galliot, you have just seen a walking, mostly dead woman emerge from the grave wearing a dwarf's backup clothing.
I think he's given up on contemplating what the actual heck is happening here, and he started writing down, in a partial diary, I guess, how whack he thinks everything that's happening is.
Today I participated in killing 3 people.
And grave robbery.
Today I stabbed someone for the first time.
You said Viviana?
I feel
Viviana
like it will not be the
Bartold.
last.
Bartold is spelled Bartold.
My adventuring party then immediately skinned him, so I'm mildly concerned.
Elathia, how do you feel about all this?
It's most definitely a crazy experience, but I feel more comfortable learning that there's worse stuff about our tattoos. It just kind of all falls into itself.
Are you perhaps wondering that if you die, you won't actually die? You'll come back just like this?
I'll be able to smoke sky thistle for eternity.
Wouldn't that be terrible?
Either that or the party TPKs, and we all become like an amalgamation.
Oh
So
my
all
God,
the
we're
all
just
the
like-
symbols
yeah,
just
we
in
look
the,
like a tree.
together.
We're just
yeah,
Well, it might
all-
take a few days, so you'd probably all be buried
yeah,
separately.
and then we're gonna coalesce into a single being and become like an even bigger.
and then y'all
uglier
will all
version of
be
that.
able to experience my sky thistle.
Yeah, but what if no
But
one's
we
there
will
to dig
all
you
have
up?
penis arms.
Oh no!
So how many of us? 7?
Oh man!
I just hope that my
It
beard doesn't
turns into
become seaweed.
14.
I guess that would make you strong enough to unbury
6
yourself.
people. That's 2 penis arms per person. That's 6 people. It's a lot of penis.
Okay, y'all.
May Satoan smite me.
So over the past 3 episodes, you have done quite a bit. You did a kindness for the innkeeper of the Desert Cloud. You checked up on his friend. Y'all were able to calm Thoradin's rage and prevent him from going across town and getting in a huge fight. You defeated this disgusting mutant creature in the cemetery. You helped a nature goddess who watches over the cemetery, unburied this woman who is apparently not dead and would have been trapped in the grave forever had you not done so. And you also acquired a pearl, which you need several of. Y'all have accomplished quite a bit. So you each get 170 experience points,
Nice.
which should put you all the second level. 300 is what you need to get to level 2. And we will end it there and pick up next time.
Woohoo!
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Follow us on Twitter at Goblin House ST.
And you can also follow us on TikTok at Goblin House Studios.
And also on Facebook at Goblin House Studios.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. Take care.
Bye.
See you next time.
Later.
Bye-bye.